In a groundbreaking move, Niger has shocked the world by rejecting 1.3 million euros in aid from the European Union. This bold decision has sparked global debate, with the EU responding by recalling its ambassador from Niamey back to Brussels. But why would Niger, a country often perceived as reliant on international aid, turn down funds meant to assist flood victims? Let's unravel this intriguing story. On Friday, Niger's presidency issued a statement accusing the EU ambassador of dividing the 1.3 million euros aid among international NGOs in a non-transparent manner, without collaborating with Niger's authorities. The transitional government, led by President Umaro Tchiani, viewed this as a breach of accountability and sovereignty. The EU responded sharply, releasing a statement that read, "The European Union expresses its profound disagreement with the allegations and justifications put forward by the transitional authorities." Consequently, the EU has decided to recall its ambassador from Niamey for consultations in Brussels. This exchange of statements highlights a deeper issue, a clash of values and principles. But is this just about aid or something much larger? To understand this better, we need to examine the broader context of neo-colonialism and the role of foreign aid in Africa. Aid has long been viewed as a tool for addressing issues like poverty and natural disasters. But for many African nations, aid comes with strings attached, often used as a mechanism of control by former colonial powers. To elaborate this more, let's take a listen to these submissions by President Paul Kagame of Rwanda.
First, aid is more political than anything else. Markets are less political, markets are neutral. Look at the rest of the world. The only thing you're talking about why you highlight aid, sometimes that to the point that if you say anything about aid, it may be used against you. You see, this is the only place we can be having this conversation. But at the same time, the panelist from Tanzania has made a good point. He illustrated all kinds of wealth lying all over the place from Africa and being recycled to us in a form of aid and then, in the end telling you, you must be humble, you must keep quiet. Don't say some of these things. I mean, what are we talking about here, honestly?
This is exactly what Niger's President Umaro Tchiani is pushing back against. Tchiani is not alone. He is part of the Alliance of Sahel States, alongside Burkina Faso and Mali. These leaders are spearheading a new movement of economic and political independence in West Africa, aiming to rid their nations of external control and influence. Their actions signal the dawn of a greater economic revolution on the African continent. For decades, Niger has been one of the world's leading exporters of uranium, a resource vital to Europe's energy needs. Yet the wealth generated from this mineral has not benefited Niger's population. Instead, the country has remained reliant on aid from the very nations profiting from its resources. According to a report by ActionAid on Aid and Resource Exploitation, 2019, over 90% of aid funds are often redirected back to donor countries through administrative costs, expatriate salaries, and other mechanisms, leaving only a fraction for the intended beneficiaries. This raises a fundamental question. Is foreign aid truly a solution, or is it a smokescreen designed to obscure the exploitation of Africa's resources? Many African leaders and scholars argue that aid is a form of economic dependency, keeping African nations in a perpetual cycle of poverty while their natural resources are drained to enrich others. Niger's rejection of the EU's aid is not just about accountability, it's a statement of self-reliance. The transitional government is emphasizing the importance of sustainable local solutions to address challenges like flooding, rather than relying on external aid that often comes with hidden agendas. The Alliance of Sahel States is leading by example. Mali has already detained several multinational corporations for failing to comply with its demands for greater revenue sharing from mining operations. Burkina Faso has taken a similar route, banning the export of unprocessed minerals to Europe and America. These reforms are designed to ensure that wealth from natural resources benefits the local population rather than foreign corporations. In addition to economic reforms, the Sahel states are taking bold steps to secure their sovereignty. They have expelled foreign military bases, accusing them of destabilizing the region and exploiting local resources under the guise of security assistance. The alliance is even planning to introduce a new currency to replace the CFA franc, which many view as a tool of economic control by France. This movement is about more than just politics. It's about empowering the African people to take charge of their destiny. By rejecting aid and pushing for reforms, Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali are sending a powerful message. Africa will no longer be a pawn in the hands of foreign powers. This is the beginning of a new era of self-reliance, accountability, and true independence. Niger's decision to reject the €1.3 million aid is not just a headline. It's a symbol of a larger struggle for dignity and self-determination. As the Alliance of Sahel States paves the way for a brighter future, the world watches closely. The question remains, will other African nations join this movement for total liberation? What are your thoughts on Niger's bold stance? Let us know in the comments below. And if you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories on Africa's transformation. Together, let's celebrate a continent rising to reclaim its destiny.